shorts, you know, not usually you wear a cowboy hat with cowboy boots and all that kind of stuff. But everything that I have is functional. The hat is just to keep the sun off my hair, off my head, my face gets, and running obviously. And this is all that I own. You see me before you with all my worldly possessions, except for a sleeping bag and some art supplies. So why am I here to speak to you today? I'll ask you, I mean, you woke up quite a few hours ago, but I assume if your life is like a normal teenager, that when you woke up this morning, your grandmother came in and served you breakfast in bed with your favorite hand-squeezed orange juice, favorite blueberry pancakes, and then your father came in and told you how proud he was of you and how you're going to have a great day, and then your mother came in and gave you a big hug and a kiss and told you how much she loved you, and that wasn't how your day began. Probably your day began more like this, you know, and then you're like, you're late for school, you know, and you didn't do your homework last night, and you have to take out the trash and da 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 da, and oh, you spilled your thing, and you know, oh, by the way, I love you. Yeah, it's probably a little more real. Yeah, and some people, they woke up this morning because Dad put the cigarette on. We all have different ways that we wake up every morning. Some more painful, some more wonderful. My whole thing is not about what was received by me, but what did I do this morning? Did I wake up this morning and yell? Did I wake up this morning and berate? Or did I wake up this morning and serve breakfast in bed to my parents? Did I wake up in bed and serve breakfast to my little brothers? Did I give vows? Did I sing? Did I tell my parents they were going to have a wonderful day? Because in our society, it's all about you. You guys, psychology, I heard you guys met Calvin, right? Little Calvin?
I'm not sure. Usually in the mornings more so than the days, but
well,
my son...
He's a 2-year-old little boy. And if any of you guys have little brothers and sisters, what's the favorite word of a 2-year-old? Ah, what'd you say?
Mine.
Mine, exactly. Mine, mine, mine. Last night, Logan and I were putting together Legos, and he comes over, he's like, what are you guys doing? Mine, you know? And he's just like, he's like messing up with stuff, and Logan's like, get out of here, kid, you know, stuff.
Logan's my 8-year-old, by the way, so,
yeah.
And Calvin's my 2-year-old.
Yeah, sorry. But we develop an ego. 1-year-olds don't act like that. 1-year-olds are like, you know, like this, you know, they're just like that. But right around 2 or 3, we develop the ego, yeah, an attitude, you know? And all of a sudden, there's stuff out there, I want it. And you get your own. But that's not the way life starts. Life starts here. Right? In your mom's belly. You're like, this guy's an artist? That's brilliant. But you're in your mom's belly, right? And then what? This is ultimate connection. You are her, she is you. It's it. And no matter how bad your life's been up to this point, at least this. Somebody loved you enough to just at least get you into the world. Right? I mean, so at that point. But then there comes a separation. And no longer is there a singularity, but all of a sudden you feel a duality. Is she the same as you? Are you the same as her? In our normal way of thinking, no, of course not. You know, I live in my house, she lives at her house. But that's not the reality. When I die, worms eat me. You go pick up that worm and go fish, catch a fish and eat that fish. You eat me. The cycle continues. We think linearly. We think, here's where I was born, and here's where I will die. That's truly not how the universe is. The Hindus, the Buddhists, the Native Americans, they didn't think it was called linear thinking, where you have the Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago, the Earth created 4.5 billion years ago, and then you are, if this is a football field, you are one blade of grass. Native Americans and everything, they think circularly. What season are we in right now? Winter. Then we go to spring, then we go to summer, then we go to fall, then we come back to winter. Everything is a cycle. Babies born, people die. The bigger question is, what are you going to do with the fleeting blade of grass that is your life? Is it all about you and what you can get and how happy you are? Because that's what we come out, right? You guys study Freud, you come out of the room, and what do you think? Mommy, 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 right? Everything's about, this connection that you have with your parents, and, whatever your parents do affects you for the rest of your life, all this kind of stuff. But it's really not who we are. Because at one point, you decided to do something kind for someone else. Each of you, regardless of the way you really think about yourself, each of you has been the Buddha, you've been the Jesus, you've been the Gandhi, you've been the Rosa Parks, you've been the Malcolm X, you've been the Martin Luther King. You have all stood up for a friend someday. Somebody was picking on your friend, you said, hey, knock it off, she's good. There was an old lady, you helped her across the street. You showed compassion. You chose to help somebody else when you didn't have to. That's all Gandhi ever did. He helped somebody when he didn't have to. And you did that. You are beautiful. In the moment that we start thinking that there's duality, that we're apart from each other, the universe comes back and smacks us in the head and says, no, you're not. There was a big bang, and things went flying around, and then there were supernovas. You guys know what supernova is? It's a major, massive star. And because of the weight and the gravity of the star is so massive that when it explodes, particles get smashed together. Our sun is massive, but it is a very tiny star. The most our sun can create is takes two hydrogens, smash them, make them helium, helium, smash them, creates a argon. That's the biggest our sun can get. So all the stuff, what you're breathing right here, nitrogen gas, oxygen, this wasn't created on Earth. It wasn't even created by our sun. The oxygen you're breathing right now, the water that you're drinking, the H2O, that was created in the Super Big Bang. The gold earring that you're wearing, the silver that you're wearing, the lead on your fishing hook, all of that was created in a star, exploding. You, my friends, you are stardust. You are the beauty of the sky. And we try to dissuade ourselves, because what do? We get up in the mirror and we hold a Cosmo magazine, and we look for the Cosmo, and we look back in the mirror, and what does it tell us? We're not good enough, smart enough, we're not pretty enough. Guys, you pick up a, BMX bike or Men's Health, well, you gotta be rich, you gotta be buff, you gotta date 1 million women, you gotta be able to do a double backflip off your BMX bike. This is how you're validated. And so, what do we begin to think? Instead of thinking that you're wonderful, you begin to see, I lack. I'm not lovable. I'm not capable. I'm not anything. Do I even get mad? Do I even care? Does anybody care? Do I exist? But instead of saying I lack, rather I say I am lovable and capable. Because you are. You're beautiful. But you're not sure of it. So you test the waters. Maybe you belong to a church, you've gone down to Mexico or something like that, and you've helped out with some poor people. Maybe you've gone to a homeless shelter and fed food. Or maybe you just babysitted the neighbor's kids for an hour, and when they tried to pay you, said, no, it's fine. Maybe you helped the old lady across the street. You've done something kind, even when it was hard for you. Your dad asked you to help you, and you really would rather go out and play, but you helped him mix cement in the backyard or something. You chose at that point to be the kindness, to be the good. You went back towards the singularity, seeing that I am you and you are me, and there's no difference, and you deserve it. You deserve to be loved. But then you decide to be selfish. There was only 2 pieces of pie left in the pan. Your brother wanted one, but you ate both. It's all right. I shoplifted when I was 10 years old. I stole a Matchbox car. All right. We've all done things. You've done wrong things. There was a time your girlfriend asked you, hey, does this dress make you look fat? And you said, no, your face does. I mean, you said mean things. And you said kind things. There was that time when you went up to your girlfriend and said, you know what, I really appreciate having you. You live in a dualistic world. But then someday, you have this point where you say, is this all there is to life? Is it really all about this? Is it all about me? Because as a man, what are we told? Like I said, you got to have lots of girlfriends. You got to have what? You got to have a Mercedes, a Ferrari, ATVs, windsurfer, ski boat, da 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 da. You got to have all these things. You got to have a job that makes you lots of money and take vacations, all this kind of stuff. So I got that stuff. I got a lot of money. I got all the great vacations. I got a lot of toys. I had sailboats. I had cars. I'm happy. Look around this city more than any other. How many people have a house, 10 rooms, big mansion, a couple million? Got all the toys in it. Got all the plastic surgery they could want to make themselves look good. Are they any happier? Or are they miserable? Some of them are your parents. Are they happy? Some of them are. But more deep down, every single one of us, inside, has a point that kind of knows what I'm talking about. We've all experienced it. Because somebody has been kind to you. Somebody was kind to you and did something kind for you, but you didn't deserve it. In fact, you'd talk behind that person's back that day, or you had stolen $5 out of your mom's wallet. She wasn't looking, and she still gave you $20. Last night, Calvin was acting up. JC had to put him in a timeout. Timeout lasted 30 seconds. Then he came back. JC still gave him a hug. Still gave him a hug. This morning, he threw his food all over the table and stuff like that. JC's still going to feed him tonight. He didn't have to. But he loves him anyway, right? That is generosity. That is kindness. That is compassion. Loving those who don't necessarily deserve it. But that is the hardest part. I asked you a question, and I already probably know your answer. Are there bad people in the world? What do you think? Bad people? Yeah, about 50. Do you think everybody's good? Anybody think everybody's good? Yeah? A couple of you? It's not the conventional thought. And what are you told? Last night I was watching watching TV with Terry. We're watching the news. What came on? Literally, this was the news. It was a half-an-hour segment. The first thing was about a kid who got shot. The next was about a guy who molested some kids at some church. The next was about it. And then finally, there was somebody it was double whammy. This was the good part of the show. Somebody threw away a dog in a trash can, and somebody found it and brought it back to health. That was the good part. Somebody threw the dog away in the trash can. And so, how are you? I don't blame you. How are you to think that there are any good people out there in the world after you see this crap on TV every night and people tell you, be safe, don't talk to strangers, people are trying to use you, abuse you, and all this kind of stuff. Why would you think people are good? I don't blame you. I didn't think people were good either. I'm going to tell you, people will do mean things to you. People will hurt you, especially when you turn 18. It's true. You fall off a cliff. Nobody cares for you when you turn 18. And who's 17 in here, guys? Yeah, or girls. Mostly for the guys. When you turn 18, you have to sign a thing called selective service card. Now, if this guy right here, what's your name, buddy? Matt. Nice to meet you, Matt. If Matt were to go and punch the guy sitting across from him in the face, what would happen to Matt? He'd be in prison? Oh, he must punch him really hard. Yeah. But more likely he would get suspended. Yeah, he might go to prison. Yeah. But more likely he'd definitely get suspended or expelled. Now, Matt's not that kind of guy. He's a very kind guy. But guess what happens? Matt's told, don't hit. He's told, fighting never solves anything. And nothing ever good comes from fighting, and all these kind of stuff, kiss and make up, all these kind of things. Told that for 18 years, and then you turn 18, you're told, oh, by the way, it was all a pack of lies. We're going to send you off to war now and kill somebody you don't even know, because fighting does solve things. Or we can establish peace by killing other people.